outdated belief today is this: go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, pay off debt, and invest for the long haul in the stock market. But think, why save money when trillions are being printed every year? The value drops while the gap between the ultra-rich and everyone else just keeps growing. This isn't just about dollars, it's about stepping back and seeing the full picture. So, what's the move? Inside each of us lives a poor person. I still feel him in me sometimes. There's also the middle-class version of us, the one who craves security and dreams of a stable paycheck. And then there's the rich version, the one who thinks differently. All of them live inside us. The tragedy? We're never taught how to awaken that rich version. We're taught how to be employees, not creators of wealth. Go to school, get a job, get a paycheck, that's the script. But if you've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know the story. My rich dad refused to pay me. He believed that a paycheck was one of the most damaging addictions you can have. The moment you start depending on it, you accept the identity of an employee, and that mindset becomes your cage. That used to drive my poor dad, who worked for the government, absolutely mad. You have to pay people, he'd say. But Rich Dad wasn't against money. He just refused to become its servant. He didn't want to be trapped by a paycheck. That was his message. As an entrepreneur, if one business fails, I create another. I'm not reliant on a paycheck or on someone else's system to survive. If my country doesn't support entrepreneurs, I move to one that does. Entrepreneurship isn't just about business. It's a way of thinking. It's a mindset, a skill set, a different set of rules altogether. I don't run a small business by the same playbook as a big one, and I definitely don't operate like an employee. Entrepreneurs play a different game entirely. It's a mindset first, then a skill set, and finally, it's rules. So if someone's never been an entrepreneur and they're thinking about taking that leap of faith, what would I say? I'd say this: I still remember my last paycheck. I was in Puerto Rico, working at Xerox. It was the worst day of my life, and also the best, because that was the day I stopped living safe and started living free. When my boss handed me that final check, it wasn't a regular paycheck. It was a bonus check. I think it was around $30,000. The catch? It was taxable, of course, but I looked down at it and thought, holy mackerel. I was thrilled, but strangely unsettled too. Then this guy, his name was John, walks up to me. He looks me in the eye and says, "You'll be back." I said, "Back? Why?" He just shrugged and said, "Because you're going to fail." I'll never forget how those words hit me. I looked at him and, yeah, I dropped a few choice words. Because I knew why he said it. He left Xerox, tried, failed, and came crawling back. And I told him straight up, "You failed and returned. But I'll fail, and I'll never come back." That's the difference. That's the attitude. You see what I mean? If you've got a plan B, like, if I fail, I'll go back to mommy and daddy, then that's exactly what you'll do. You'll run home the moment things get tough. But me? When I failed, that's when I really became an entrepreneur. I had no money, not for years. No paycheck to rely on. Just grit. And that's exactly what my rich dad had prepared me for. He said when you're cut off from the paycheck, you get hungrier, you get smarter, and it tests your character. Who are you without a salary? Will you cheat, steal, sell out, or will you become someone stronger, someone honest and resilient? That's what entrepreneurship really reveals. Who you are when you have nothing to fall back on. That's the gift in all of it. You learn to zoom out and look at the big picture. Too many people panic and think, what's going to happen to me? But when you look at the bigger picture, you realize every bad turn hides a blessing. You just need to prepare, be ready, adapt. If you believe the next 20 years will look like the last 20, You're going to get wrecked. Think about it. When we go to the store and buy a carton of milk, we check the expiration date. But people rarely check the expiration date on their mindset. They keep thinking with expired ideas. Me? I don't get out of debt. I get into it. I just refinanced $300 million from 5% down to 2.5%. I made a fortune. Now, every month, more money comes in. Because my cost of money went down, I'm winning. While most so-called financial experts scream, "Get out of debt," I say, learn to use debt. When I got back from Vietnam in January of 1973, the first thing my rich dad said wasn't, "Welcome home." He said, "Go learn how to invest in real estate." But it wasn't about the property, it was about learning how to master debt and taxes. Debt and taxes are what make the rich richer, and they're the same tools making the poor and middle class poorer every single day.